Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wisdom Day with Dr. Anil Bajpai, COO, Prestige Education Foundation, Indore. So today is another Monday. And this Monday, let us talk about something that's very interesting to all of you. And what's that? Let's talk about brand management. What is brand? All of us who are in the area studying management, studying advertising, studying promotion, studying marketing have come across this term, product management and brand management. What does brand management mean? A lot of us get confused about what brand management is all about. Marketing management is the mother, and brand and all other such activities become its subsidiaries. Is it so? Is brand not bigger than the marketing management concept? Is brand not something that goes on and on and on? Yes, there is. What is brand management? Brand management is a promise that gets fulfilled. That's a brand. A brand which defines what the product does or what the organization does. A brand is what the brand does. A brand is what the brand promises. A brand is what the brand will keep on going and on. You are aware of several brands. For instance, some of the oldest brands in this country have been Bata. Everybody knows Bata. What's Bata? Bata means shoes. And there was a time when they were synonymous. There are many such brands which have actually become generic. Xerox. Xerox is a company. And the brand became the generic term. And people started saying, I'm going out to Xerox this paper. Not photocopy the paper. Because the brand was bigger than what the brand did. The brand, from the noun, when it becomes a verb, it has arrived. It is there to stay. However, let me give you a little sneak into a couple of brands that I hold so close and dear to me. And yes, I may be courting a controversy, but two of the most famous brands in this country called India are things that I find interesting, amusing, and completely above everything else. The two brands are brand Hanuman and brand Ganapati. What do I mean by brand Ganapati? Ganapati, yes, it had to get a brand refresh at the hands of Sri Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak when decline had taken place in the worship of the Lord Ganesha. And it came back. It came back with a bang. And every year you have Ganapati Bappa Moria. And why am I talking about this right now? Today is a day or a couple of days, one day after Ganesh Chaturthi. So we are worshipping Lord Ganesh at this point in time. And what do we think about this? Ganesh has become a brand. Ganapati has become a brand. A brand that is so indelible that it remains etched in the minds of every Indian, man, woman or child. It means something. It signifies a deity. It signifies the elephant god. It signifies the modak. It signifies concentration. It signifies removal of all troubles, Vigna Harta. It signifies one broken tusk, Ek Dant. It signifies so many things. That's what the brand does. So Ganesh becomes a verb. Ganapati becomes a verb. And therefore, it remains there forever. It is no longer just a name. There is a concept. There is a movement. There is a complete devotion to this. There is a frenzy of devotion to the brand called Ganesh. It has lived eons and it shall live eons. And therefore, this is an indelible brand. And let's talk about the other brand that I just mentioned a while ago, and that is brand Hanuman. Hanuman, epitome of devotion, epitome of ability, epitome of everything that one stands for. Hanuman has lived in all ages. He has lived as the Bhakt of Sri Ram in the Yug of the Ram. He has lived with being present on the flag of Arjun and Krishna's Rath. He has lived any and every place. He is living even today. He is an indelible brand. He is a brand without which leaders cannot exist. The Hanuman is a brand which has existed. And both Ganesh and Hanuman are what? They're not gods. Nobody calls them gods. Yes, they are problem solvers. They are both entities. They're both concepts. They're both such strong brands that we repose our faith in them to reach the Lord Almighty. The Lord Almighty has given us messengers, and these are two brilliant messengers. They are brands which have existed from times immemorial and shall exist till the end of time. Let's take a look at paradigms. What does a brand do? A brand has an identity. Hanuman and Ganesh have an identity. A brand is as good as what the brand promises. Hanuman and Ganesh promise to you to take away all your pain and sorrow. A brand is what the brand identifies the organization. Hanuman and Ganesh identify their respective organizations. A brand is what you can experience and feel. Hanuman and Ganesh are brands which all of us are able to experience and feel. A brand is what connects to you emotionally. And these are two brands which you can see are connecting to you emotionally. So having said that, it may sound very, very outlandish to mention two concepts of devotion as brands. But they are brands. They are indelible. They don't go away. They remain with us, and hopefully will remain with us till time goes on and on. How do you manage brands? Do you always need a refresh? Yes, you do at times. Many years ago, I think it was in the 90s, that Ganeshji was suddenly drinking milk. Every deity across the country. And this was a time when there were no mobile phones. And yet, the whole world was talking about it. The whole world was trying to feed Ganeshji milk at every nook and corner, at every temple outside the home or within the home. Such is the power of the brand. It did not require mobile communication. It did not require wireless technology to spread to the entire planet within a matter of a few hours. That's the power of the brand. Omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. These are the superlative qualities of these two brands that I just mentioned. Any brand that you want to succeed in the marketplace will need to follow these qualities, will need to reach out to these two epitomes of brand management. If you can work around that, you have a damn good brand management team in your organization. So let's see, how do brands manage themselves? A couple of brands within our country. We talked about Bata. There are brands like Hindustan Levers. There are brands like, and within Hindustan Levers, there are sub-brands. There is the Lux. There is the Lifebuoy. The two brands have different identities. Will they merge? Never. Why? Because they've been created in such a manner. They've gone down into your mind as different segments of soaps. So they are two different brands. Similarly, you have different brands. You have brand Patanjali now. You have brand, all kinds of products will have their own brands. One brand that I am reminded of and it had actually bombed for a while. And this is an example that I'm sure will make meaning to you all. Maggi. The organization is called Food Specialities Limited, or rather now Nestle, and Nestle has a product range under Maggi. But nobody remembers other products of Maggi. All that you recall from Maggi is noodles, the 2-minute noodles. And Maggi has a range of other products, maybe running into 100. But the brand is so powerful, and the brand has been replaced by the product, and vice versa. And people say, I want to eat Maggi. And when they say, I want to eat Maggi, they mean they want to eat 2-minute noodles. Now you try and understand. Isn't Maggi becoming more like a Xerox, more like a Hanuman, more like a Ganesha? It is becoming an epitome of food. But what had happened to Maggi in 1980s? Launched in the country, tried to say that it is a 2-minute noodle, and it insulted the feminine gender of India, who threw it out of the window saying that I am capable of feeding my family. Many years later, the brand was refreshed. The product launch was done again with the concept of children in the focus and hunger from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that took the whole country by storm. And today, Maggi is not a household name for a brand, but it's a product which has turned into a generic term.